or seeing someone else do it, treat it as if it's still loaded. You may know that it's empty, but you must practice your mind detect threading and believe both facts as
Make sure the top of the front sight is level with the top of the rear sight. If zeroed correctly, the bullet should hit right at distance, usually around 15 yards. For maximum accuracy, you should focus on your front sight, even though it makes the target look blurry. There's no point shooting at a crisp target.
It is vital that you know that you are not dreaming. This is real. This is the time you have prepared for. People with high exposure to media show many symptoms. Listlessness, inability to focus, a feeling of dread and hopelessness. The inversion of values extends to all aspects of life. The media tells you that distant, abstract events that have little to do are the most After World War II, a military study concluded that only a quarter of American soldiers were willing to line up their sights on a human target. Now, to combat this problem, the Army found ways to dampen our natural aversion to killing one another. They replaced bullseye targets with human silhouettes, made training conditions more similar to actual combat, and trained recruits to avoid taking personal responsibility for killing. You know, after enough training, you can eventually...
An overarching tactic in any conflict is deception. Preparations for the mind kill were nearly complete by the time that receivers were able to organize their first resistance. This is because the attack was invisible, deniable, and works by targeting and expanding our blind spots until one is totally senseless. Learning about the threat is the single most critical function we can perform. From this comes our mind tech and our physical training. Similarly, it is imperative that we deny the threat any information we can. This is why we focus our thoughts and use the cassettes. If some of the training seems obtuse, remember, this is necessary.
If you run out of ammo, you can no longer defend yourself against kill drones. However, they are predictable, and with enough focus, you can get past them without using your firearms at all.
You are isolated and unable to attend one of our training camps in person. The way to seek this option is to gain exposure to the threat by avoiding others entirely. This is a mistake. Baseline mental operation requires meaningful social connections, and creating those connections is a strategy employed by the when this new situation becomes important. Compromised individuals feel an overwhelming urge to spread malcontent thoughts. They prefer activities that involve conversation. Exposure to the threat.
Natural defenses. The coming attack is horrible.
All we can do is prepare.
When the mind kill comes, you will likely have forgotten everything about your own life before entering the post-mind kill environment. But everything that has become intuition, everything you've made a part of your inner self, the threat, is unable to erase. Therefore, it's important to train until the training becomes so natural that you can make fun. Direct usage in your file has to become as natural as breathing for there to be any chance of success. The flashlight is a great tool that has many U.S. Marine Colonel Jeff Cooper's first rule of gun safety is that guns are always loaded. But you must practice your mind-tech threading and believe both facts at once. Unless you are currently seeing and feeling the chamber is empty, the weapon is in a state of quantum control of the threat. In that state, you point at a focus fire. Clusters of neurons found throughout the body. The mind stretches within the body. The bullet should hit right at the top of the front sight at the surface, usually around 15 yards. For maximum accuracy, you should focus on your front sight, even though it makes the target look blurry.
There's no point shooting at a crisp target if you can't tell if your sights line up.
It is vital that you know that you are not dreaming. This is real. This is the time you have prepared for. People with high exposure to media show many symptoms. Listlessness, inability to focus, a feeling of dread and hopelessness. The inversion of values extends to all aspects of life. The media tells you that distant, abstract events that have little to do are the most important. The implication is that your own experience and existence is meaningless. The opposite is true. Your only connection to reality A is through your mind's eye. Instead of looking out, you learn your own critical information by looking inward. To the extent that the body is an extension of the mind, it is the primary aspect of physical.
Many new receivers wonder what the structure of the organization is. They want to know who is in charge and how they can advance in order to gain authority over other receivers. The question is meaningless. Is the person who sees the light in charge of it? Anyone, anywhere can receive the message. While some may see clearer than others and provide help and insight, it doesn't make them the leader. Reality A is immense. In this world, you may stand next to someone, but in reality A, you are separated by vast distances. Because what one sees from one's own position is always different than another's, you are your own authority. Seeking power or authority over fellow initiates is indicative of a sleeper agent for the threat. If you have these thoughts, it is critical that you root them out by building alternate goals and values.
One tool used by the threat is called the anti-pattern. The threat cultivates an atmosphere of terror and anxiety around trivial risks, providing a suitable environment for them to inject fixes for
Mediated communication using technology is a limited form of interaction. This isn't to say that these interactions are meaningless. Often the opposite is true. Trivial interactions take on a feeling of great importance. It is in that way that the threat is able to twist and control many people. The solution is simple. Understand your medium of choice. Avoid mediated interactions when possible.
Receivers know that the biggest predictor of success is true grit, the ability to maintain resolve in the face of adversity. The only way to develop this trait is through practice.
An overarching tactic in any conflict is deception. Preparations for the mind kill were nearly complete by the time that receivers were able to organize their first resistance. This is because the attack was invisible, deniable, and works by targeting and expanding our blind spots until one is totally senseless. Learning about the threat is the single most critical function we can perform. From this comes our mind tech and our physical training. Similarly, it is imperative that we deny the threat any information we can. This is why we focus our thoughts and use the cassettes. If some of the training seems obtuse, remember, this is necessary.
If you run out of ammo, you can no longer defend yourself against kill drones. However, they are predictable, and with enough focus, you can get past them without using your firearm at all.
If you are isolated and unable to attend one of our training camps in person, it may seem like the safest option is to limit exposure to the threat by avoiding others. others are tired. This is a mistake. Baseline mental operation requires meaningful social connections, and degrading those connections is a strategy employed by the threat. In a lose-lose situation, it is important to select a relatively better option. It is critical to meet your basic psychological needs, even if this means risking exposure to dangerous ideas. Because threat-compromised individuals feel an overwhelming urge to spread.
The absence of thought is better than malformed thought. For this, we have mind tech called new thought. Because the body is the mind, you can think by moving. Now, this is achieved through reflection, which helps mental health. Once trained, stillness can be a powerful tool, but to an unclear mind, it can be dangerous. Minimizing the importance of the body allows more space for the mind to get sidetracked and profoundly lost. The threat wants this. The true importance of your training camp is to constrain these stray thoughts. By focusing on calisthenics and firearms drills, we prepare the mind to accept firm knowledge. Now, this does not make mid-thought less important than later mind tech. It is not basic, but fundamental. You are finally We have reached out to you with a warning. If you are able to hear your message, you are one of the few that we can help. We call you receivers. The receiver who was speaking these words was chosen because he was able to use absolute clarity. This time you choose to know, but power is not something. The coming attack is unavoidable. All institutes prepare. When the mind control comes, you will likely have forgotten everything about your own life and those mind controls. Everything is part of your inner self. Correct usage of your file has to become as natural as breathing for there to be any chance of success.
You have reached out to us, and we have responded. If you are listening to this, it means our training materials have arrived, and you have learned enough to simplify.
It as a weapon in its own right. A proper self-defense flashlight is bright enough to temporarily blind a human attacker, which can go far in convincing them to surrender or leave. This, however, will not work on a kill drone. The flashlight is a great tool that has many uses, but it is only as good as the operator wielding it. When using a flashlight in hostile environments, make sure you use it appropriately. And remember, using it lights you up like a Christmas tree and will help your enemy as much as you if you're not careful. So with this in mind, use your flashlight sparingly. Turn it on briefly, scan your surroundings, turn it off and move, so your enemy can't zone in on your location. Make this a habit, and your flashlight will save you time and again when you find yourself in a tight spot. U.S. Marine Colonel Jeff Cooper's first rule of gun safety is that guns are always loaded. Even if you just unloaded it seconds ago or seen someone else do it, treat it as if it's still loaded. Point and filter in fire. The threat will collapse that Many people believe the brain is the seat of consciousness. It is important inability to focus, a feeling of dread and hopelessness. The inversion of values extends to all aspects of life. The media tells you that distant, abstract events that have little to do are the most important. The implication is that your own experience and existence is meaningless. The opposite is true. Your only connection to reality is in your mind's eye. Instead of looking out, you learn the most critical information by looking. Aspect of physical reality. Focus attention on the shadow body. Look inward. Listen. It is vital that you know that you are not dreaming. This is real. This is the time you have prepared for.
Many new receivers wonder what the structure of the organization is. They want to know who is in charge and how they can advance in order to gain authority over other receivers.
However, they are predictable, and with enough focus, you can get past them without using your firearm at all.
If you are isolated and unable to attend one of our training camps in person, it may seem like the safest option is to limit exposure to the threat by avoiding others entirely. This is a mistake. Baseline mental operation requires meaningful social connections, and degrading those connections is a strategy employed by the threat. In a lose-lose situation, it is important to select the relatively better option. It is critical to meet your basic psychological needs, even if this means risking exposure to dangerous ideas. Because threat-compromised individuals feel an overwhelming urge to spread malformed thoughts, they prefer activities that involve conversation. You can limit exposure to the threat by focusing on shared activities that don't involve speaking.
The absence of thought is better than malformed thought. For this, we have mind tech called MinThought. Because the body is the mind, you can think by moving. Now, this is achieved through repetitive physical activities, which helps to reduce mental noise and focus the mind on the present. Deciding to be still is also a type of thought, one cultivated by the threat. Once trained, stillness can be a powerful tool, but to the unprepared mind, it can be dangerous. Minimizing the importance of the body allows more space for the mind to get sidetracked and profoundly lost. The threat exploits this. The true importance of your training camp is to constrain these stray thoughts. By focusing on calisthenics and firearm drills, we prepare the mind to accept deeper knowledge. Now, this does not make MinThought less important than later mind tech. It is not basic, but fundamental. You are finally prepared to hear this message. You see reality painted.
You are finally prepared to hear this message. You see reality painted in shades of black, but beyond your world is another, bathed in great... Receivers. The receiver who was speaking these words was chosen because he is able to hear us with exceptional clarity. With time, you too can learn this mind tech, but time is not something we have. There is a threat to everyone on your planet, and they have been weakening your mind through your media, lowering your natural defenses. The coming attack is unavoidable. All we can do is prepare. When milestone comes, you will likely have forgotten everything about your own life before you enter a post-milestone environment. But everything is. Everything you've made a part of your inner self, the threat is unable to erase. Therefore, it's important to train until the training becomes so natural that the world of the mind stretches far to the horizon. In this space, it's tempting to dwell in the past or explore possible futures. Attention flits from one distant idea to the next, visiting 100 unlikely scenarios, spreading thinner and thinner. This is the unfocused mind. In contrast, sharp focus is always concentrated on the present moment. What action do you have to take right now? Each new moment necessitating the next thought and action in a correct sequence.
In a disordered mind, fear and doubt will often attach itself to whatever events are happening at that moment. These misattributed, diverted feelings can become habitual, compounding the problem of accurate thinking. This leads to confusion, impaired decision-making, and more anxiety in a damaging feedback loop. By grounding thoughts in the present, one can escape this feedback loop. Where are you? What time and year is it? Who are you? What are you doing at this exact moment? What do you see? What do you hear? What do you really hear? In the face of frustration, it's normal to feel anger and disappointment. Receivers are trained to understand and accept these feelings and allow them to flow through their mind unobstructed and out the other side, leaving only clarity and resolve. The body and mind are linked. Physical actions are a manifestation of mental actions. Thus, training to protect the body also protects the mind. Controlling your environment controls your thoughts. You, your body, and your environment are part of a larger whole. Control your thoughts. Control your body. Control your environment. And control your fate. Kill drones don't feel pain, don't feel fear. They will keep trying to kill you until you make it physically impossible for them to function. The surest way to disable them completely is to destroy their batteries, found in the thickest part of the base of turrets or the rear body of flying drones.